It's a very blustery first Saturday in October, and we're here at Trafalgar Square, where organisers say 1,500 people are going to hold up signs saying, "I oppose genocide, I support Palestine action." And each one of those sign holders will be breaking the anti-terrorism law. That's after then Home Secretary Yvette Cooper prescribed Palestine Action as a terrorist group back in July. The politicians and the police have all said that this protest should not go ahead in light of the sickening attack on a synagogue in Manchester earlier this week. They say that this protest is misdirecting police resources away from protecting Jewish communities around the city. Now, you might think that sounds like a pretty cynical use of a terrible, terrible event in which two people were killed, a misuse of it by those politicians and by the police to try and solve a problem that is increasingly mounting, which is that these protests get bigger and bigger, requiring more and more manpower. Now, of course, it's not the fault of the protesters that the police have to be here. Shabana Mahmood, the current Home Secretary, could deprescribe it at any time. So it's her reluctance to do that, her refusal to do that, that means that the police have to be here because the police have to carry out the law, no matter how stupid it is. All right, Zoe, we're here today in Trafalgar Square, hundreds of people holding up signs. Each of them will need to be arrested under the terror law. Now, the Home Secretary and the Met have both said the police are overstretched, that this protest should have been cancelled because of the heinous attack in Manchester earlier this week at a synagogue. What do you think about that? Should this be going on?
Honestly, I find it incredibly hard to deal with. As a Jewish person born and bred in Greater Manchester, I find it very distressing. I'm very distressed and upset and grieving about what happened in Manchester on Thursday at the synagogue, the atrocity there. And I'm also grieving and distressed about the genocide in Gaza for the last 2 years, as have millions and millions of people. This, as you can see, I mean, people, well, you can't see, there's hundreds of people just sat in silence, in a vigil on the ground, holding a basic homemade sign. There's nothing violent about it, there's nothing anti-Semitic about it, there's nothing vaguely terrorist about it. Like, surely it's a political decision to arrest these people.
For this government to cynically exploit what happened, to reset the clock back to conflating anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism, to say that protests like these, and I go regularly on marches in Leeds every Saturday, as do other Jewish people, that people who protest against genocide in Palestine are responsible for attacks on Jewish people in this country is an absolute lie. I'm totally welcomed. I've been going for 2 years on these marches and spoken regularly as a Jewish person. My grandparents, they died in the Holocaust. I feel doubly appalled that it's being exploited and used as a shield to defend the Holocaust that Israel is now conducting.
Before the 7th of October, I didn't really speak up about Israel's actions in Palestine. I didn't really feel I knew enough, and I felt a bit too scared to speak up. And I myself had experienced anti-Semitic trolling and so on online. So I'd been scared into silence. But by a week or two into the atrocities in October 23, I couldn't be silent any longer. So I have joined colleagues and what became a growing Jewish bloc on the demonstrations and peaceful marches in Manchester many, many weeks, and sometimes in London. And whilst I was a bit nervous at the start because I'd never done anything like that before for Palestine, I wish I'd spoken out earlier. But what I can say is, from a personal level, I've experienced nothing but a warm welcome from the wide range of communities on the demonstrations, both in Manchester and London. The only kind of, grief or verbal aggression that I've received has been from Zionists or the far right.
The danger is, and I've said this many times in the last 2 years, that the conflating, the confusion, the lumping together all Jewish people with Israel will cause anti-Semitism, and it's come home to roost. They are the ones endangering Jewish people, absolutely. I mean, it was never on the radar in my life, anti-Semitism, until this. Now it's like up there on the agenda, and people ask me, are you frightened? Yeah, if they stop the genocide, and if they stop demonising people protesting against the genocide, then we'd be safe.
I don't know. I'm a loss for words some of the time, to be honest, because it's just so distressing. Like the way that the narrative is put across, particularly by Zionists, and it is that, you know, this is for Jews. This is being done for Jews, and that makes me so distressed. It's not in my name. It's not in most Jews' name. I've never felt less safe than through the rise of Zionism and the way that they're being allowed to spread their hate. It's the Zionism that makes me feel unsafe because it's stoking anti-Semitism. Without the Zionism, we can be a community together across faiths and none, and we'll be okay. Because there's a lot of decent people in the UK. We know how to rub along. Manchester's a fantastic city. It's very welcoming of diverse communities. We don't need the division. You know, we need to find space in our hearts for all communities and all of these atrocities, because everyone matters.
She's not going to walk. Great.
Say so.
Great. 1, 2, 3, up.
Safe for the better.
All right, so you're here holding your terrorist sign. You've got your beautiful dog. Why are you here, and why is George here?
We live in Worcestershire. I run a small holding. I grow apples for a living, and it really is disappointing to feel that things have got so out of hand that you have to come and lie on your back on the concrete in Trafalgar Square to get someone's attention on issues that should be absolutely obvious. And it's absolutely obvious that what's going on in Palestine is completely out of control. And if it was going on anywhere in the world, it would be completely inexcusable. In my view, this isn't a Palestinian issue, this is a humanity issue. We've lost our minds, and I'm lying here because I can't think of anything else to do. And George has come with me because I didn't want to do it on my own. We are here because we believe that the situation in Palestine is out of control. And the UK is complicit, and has been for a long time, with the arms trade. So this is what else can we do? What else can I do? I don't want to have to be here. Anyone's killing anywhere is wrong. The people in Manchester, wrong. The people in Palestine, wrong. The people in Israel, wrong. I don't fucking care where you are. Let's just stop. Stop the violence. I'm so fucking tired of it.
Get the steps off as soon as possible.
We are so sorry for our complicity. The whole country is in shame and horror.
You've been going a few hours, and you're not even at the end of the 2-year-olds who've been
halfway through my list of 0 to 4-year-olds who've been killed in the past 2 years.
Why didn't you read us a couple of those names?
إلاف حسين أحمد الأسطال مهيمن عودة خضر الترك نبيل ياسر نبيل نوفل كريم محمود ماجد مشتهى
عمر محمود عمر زراف إسماعيل يوسف محمود أبو الليل
سارة طارق عطية معروف age 14 حسن تيسير رشاد أبو صالح age 14
We've come to the end of our day here at Trafalgar Square, and what have we seen? Well, we've seen what we've seen at every protest, which is hundreds of people being arrested for holding a sign that says, I oppose genocide, I support Palestine Action. That last sentence being the crucial, illegal sentence to have on a sign under the Terrorism Act. As you can see, arrests still ongoing behind me. But the real difference here is a much more somber mood amongst the protesters. A lot of that has to do with the attack that happened on a synagogue in Manchester last week, an egregious anti-Semitic attack that led to the deaths of 2 people. Protesters here have been very, very careful about separating these 2 things out and really holding the line that you can feel both compassionate for the Jewish community and Palestinians at the very same time. That seems to be a thought that the government and the media aren't able to hold in their heads at all. The word fascism is being used increasingly these days. You look at far-right protests, you look at people like Tommy Robinson, big marches we've had in London recently. And the question is what is fascism? It's very hard to define. There are lots of ways of characterising it. But here in Trafalgar Square today, surrounded by these enormous symbols of the British state, these totems and monuments to British power, what we've seen today looks very much like fascism. You sort of know it when you see it. And of course, while all this is happening here, in Gaza, the genocide continues. Hunger deepens. More people are being killed. Everything is intensifying. The genocide is intensifying. These actions are intensifying. And the question is, when is it all going to end?